In a world obsessed with speed, Warren Buffett became one of the richest men in history by doing something almost nobody wants to do. He waited. Not for a week, not for a year, for decades. While other people chased the next hot stock, the next market boom, the next secret shortcut, Buffett sat quietly, reading, thinking, waiting. And somehow, that patience turned into billions. But this is not a story about a man who simply got lucky. It is not a story about someone who predicted every crash, every boom, or every market turn. It is the story of a man who understood something deeper. That money rewards discipline. That time rewards patience. And that the hardest part of investing is not always knowing what to buy. Sometimes, the hardest part is having the emotional strength to wait. Warren Buffett did not build his fortune by moving faster than everyone else. He built it by refusing to move when everyone else was losing control.
When markets panicked, he stayed rational. When markets became greedy, he stayed disciplined. When the world wanted action, he trusted time. And that is why his story feels almost impossible today. Because today, everything screams for attention. Prices move every second. People want results instantly. Everyone wants to look smart now. But Buffett built an empire by doing something quieter. He ignored noise. He studied businesses. He controlled his emotions. And he let compounding do what compounding does best: grow slowly, then suddenly. This is the story of Warren Buffett, the boy who counted everything, the student who learned value, the investor who upgraded his thinking, the businessman who built Berkshire Hathaway, and the man who got rich by waiting.
Before Warren Buffett was a billionaire, before Berkshire Hathaway, before annual meetings filled with thousands of people, before the world called him the Oracle of Omaha, he was just a boy in Omaha, Nebraska, trying to understand money. Not in a vague way, not as a fantasy, but almost like a scientist. He wanted to know how money moved, why some businesses made it, why some people kept it, why small decisions could become large results later. As a child, Buffett was already different. He was not obsessed with attention. He was obsessed with numbers. He sold chewing gum. He sold Coca-Cola. He delivered newspapers. He looked at small businesses the way other kids looked at games. Every sale had a cost. Every cost had a margin. Every margin told a story. And Warren wanted to understand the story. Most children might see a coin and think about what it could buy. Buffett saw something else. He saw a beginning, a seed, a small piece of something that could become bigger if it was protected, saved, and used correctly. That mindset mattered, because Buffett's genius was never just that he liked money. A lot of people like money. His genius was that he respected the process behind it. He understood early that wealth was not only about owning. It was about keeping, reinvesting, repeating, waiting. Even as a young boy, Buffett seemed to understand that small numbers could become large numbers if they were given enough time. That idea sounds simple, but simple ideas are often the hardest to live by. Saving money is simple. Most people do not do it consistently. Being patient is simple. Most people cannot stand it. Thinking long-term is simple. Most people get distracted by today. Buffett's life started with a rare combination: curiosity, discipline, and a deep emotional comfort with being boring. That last part is important, because Warren Buffett did not become Warren Buffett by being flashy.
He became Warren Buffett by being consistent. And consistency is invisible while it is happening. Nobody claps for the kid saving money. Nobody cheers for the teenager reading financial statements. Nobody makes headlines about patience. But quietly, year after year, Buffett was building the mental machine that would define his life. He was learning that money was not just something to spend. It was a tool, a seed, a machine. If you treated it correctly, it could grow. And if you gave it enough time, it could grow into something almost unbelievable. But first, Buffett needed the idea that would shape everything. He needed a teacher.
Warren Buffett did not become Warren Buffett alone. Every legend has a moment where their thinking changes. For Buffett, that moment came through Benjamin Graham. Graham was not selling excitement. He was not selling predictions. He was not telling people to chase the hottest companies. He taught something colder, more disciplined, more rational. He taught value. The idea was simple. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. And if you can buy something for less than it is truly worth, you give yourself a margin of safety. That phrase became one of the foundations of Buffett's life. Margin of safety. It sounds technical, but emotionally, it means something deeply human. Do not assume the world will be perfect. Do not assume every plan will work. Do not assume the future will be clean. Leave room for mistakes. Leave room for fear. Leave room for uncertainty. Because markets are not calm machines. Markets are human. They are fear, greed, hope, panic, ego, regret. And all of those emotions become prices.
Graham helped Buffett see the market differently. The stock market was not a magical judge that always knew the truth. It was a crowd, and crowds can be wrong. When people were afraid, prices could fall too far. When people were greedy, prices could rise too high. When people were confused, opportunity could appear. Buffett learned to look past the noise. When others saw a falling stock, he asked, "What is the business worth?" When others saw panic, he asked, "Is the value still there?" When others wanted action, he wanted evidence. This became Buffett's first great investing edge. Not speed, not prediction, discipline. He was not trying to own what was popular. He was trying to own what was mispriced. He searched for companies selling below their value, ignored companies, unloved companies, situations where the market had become too pessimistic. To most people, those opportunities looked ugly. To Buffett, they looked mathematically interesting. But this was not only about math, it was also about temperament. Because value investing is a personality test. Can you buy when other people are afraid? Can you ignore the crowd? Can you look wrong for a while without changing your mind? Can you separate price from value? That became part of Buffett's identity. He did not need the market to agree with him immediately. He could wait. He could be lonely. He could be early. He could be patient. But over time, Buffett's thinking began to evolve. Because buying cheap was powerful, but it was not enough. A bad business can be cheap for a reason. A weak company can stay weak. A discount can become a trap. And another person would help Buffett see that. That person was Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger did not just become Warren Buffett's partner. He became one of the most important forces in Buffett's thinking. Buffett had learned from Graham to buy cheap. Munger pushed him to think bigger. Not just, is this stock cheap, but is this business wonderful? That change sounds small, but it transformed everything. Because there is a difference between buying a bad business at a cheap price
and buying a great business at a fair price. A bad business can consume time. It can demand attention. It can look cheap forever. It can punish patience instead of rewarding it. But a great business with strong economics, strong management, strong customer loyalty, and the ability to keep earning for decades can become a compounding machine. Munger helped Buffett move from bargain hunting to quality investing. And that shift changed Berkshire Hathaway. Early Buffett looked for discounts. Later Buffett looked for durability. The question became less, how cheap is it? And more, how long can this business keep producing value? That is a much more powerful question. Because if a business is truly exceptional, time becomes your ally. Every year matters. Every customer matters. Every reinvested dollar matters. Every advantage compounds. Buffett began to understand that the best businesses do not just make money once. They make money repeatedly. They have something that protects them. A brand, a habit, a cost advantage, a distribution system, a customer relationship, a moat. That word became central to Buffett's language. A moat is what protects a business from competition. And Buffett wanted businesses with moats that could last. Because patience only works if the thing you own deserves patience. Waiting on a weak business is not wisdom. It is denial.
Waiting on a great business, bought at a sensible price, can become extraordinary. That is the difference. Buffett was not just waiting randomly. He was waiting with judgment. That is why his patience was so powerful. It was not passive. It was selective. He did not need to swing at every pitch. He could wait for the right one. And when the right opportunity appeared, he could act with conviction. Then go back to waiting. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of Buffett's success. People think patience means doing nothing. But Buffett's patience was not laziness. It was preparation. He read constantly. He studied businesses. He understood industries. He watched management teams. He learned what quality looked like. So when opportunity appeared, he did not need excitement. He already had conviction. This is where Buffett became more than an investor. He became a builder of a business empire. Not an empire built through speed, but through ownership, through patience, through acquiring pieces of businesses that could survive time, and then letting them work.
Berkshire Hathaway did not begin as the clean empire people imagine today. It began as a struggling textile company. Not glamorous, not modern, not the kind of business most people would associate with one of the greatest fortunes in history. But over time, Buffett transformed Berkshire into something else, a holding company, a collection of businesses, a machine for owning. Insurance, railroads, energy, consumer brands, financial assets, operating companies, cash, patience. Berkshire became the physical form of Buffett's philosophy. It was not built to impress people every quarter. It was built to endure. That is rare, because most companies live under pressure. Pressure to grow fast, pressure to report strong numbers, pressure to satisfy the market now. Buffett built Berkshire with a different rhythm. Long-term, decentralized, disciplined, patient. He wanted managers who could run their businesses. He wanted capital that could be allocated intelligently. He wanted opportunities where time could work. And one of the most important engines inside Berkshire was insurance. Insurance gave Berkshire something powerful: float. Money collected today that might not need to be paid out until later. In simple terms, float gave Buffett access to capital. And Buffett knew how to use capital. Carefully, patiently, rationally. That is where the machine becomes interesting. Berkshire did not just earn money. It collected capital, allocated capital, reinvested capital, and let time multiply the results again and again. This is why Buffett's story is not just about picking stocks. It is about building a system where patience can be repeated. One good decision is useful. A system that makes good decisions for decades is powerful. Berkshire became that system. A waiting machine. A compounding machine. A place where businesses could keep producing cash, and Buffett could decide where that cash should go next. This required something most people underestimate: trust. Buffett trusted time. He trusted great businesses. He trusted rational managers. He trusted his own discipline. But he did not trust hype. He did not trust predictions. He did not trust market noise. This gave him emotional distance.
When markets were euphoric, he could stay cautious. When markets were terrified, he could become interested. That does not mean Buffett was perfect. He made mistakes. He missed opportunities. He bought things that did not work. He admitted errors. But what made him different was not perfection. It was recovery. He did not need to be right every time. He needed a process strong enough to survive being wrong. And that is another human lesson in his story. Greatness is not built by avoiding every mistake. It is built by not letting mistakes destroy the system. Buffett's system survived because it was simple. Buy value. Prefer quality. Avoid stupidity. Control emotion. Keep cash. Wait. That simplicity became Berkshire's strength. But the deepest force behind everything was still time.
If Warren Buffett had a secret weapon, it was not a stock ticker. It was not a hidden formula. It was not a prediction model. It was compounding. The quiet engine. The invisible force. The thing that looks small for a long time and then suddenly looks unstoppable. Compounding is strange because in the beginning, it feels slow, too slow, almost disappointing. You invest, you wait. The result is small. You wait longer, still not dramatic. Then, after enough time, the curve bends. Growth begins feeding on itself. Money makes money. Then that money makes more money. And the longer it continues, the more powerful it becomes. Buffett understood this better than almost anyone. He did not need wealth to arrive all at once. He needed the machine to keep running. That is why so much of his fortune came later in life. Not because he started late, because he never stopped. He allowed time to do what time does best: magnify consistency. Most people interrupt compounding. They sell too early. They panic. They chase something else. They get bored. They want proof now. They mistake slow progress for failure. Buffett did the opposite. He gave compounding room. Room to breathe. Room to survive bad years. Room to turn good businesses into extraordinary results. This is why waiting is so difficult. Because waiting does not feel productive. It feels like nothing is happening. But in Buffett's world, waiting was not empty. Waiting was where the work became visible later. It was where businesses kept earning, where managers kept operating, where customers kept buying, where capital kept compounding, where time quietly converted discipline into wealth. That is the part most people miss. Buffett did not get rich by simply being patient. Patience alone is not enough. You can wait forever on the wrong thing and get nothing. Buffett got rich by combining patience with judgment. He waited after choosing carefully. He waited after studying. He waited after buying value. He waited after finding quality. He waited when the business deserved it. That is why the phrase "got rich by waiting" is true, but incomplete.
The full truth is this: Warren Buffett got rich by knowing what was worth waiting for, and then having the temperament to actually wait. That temperament is rare, because the market constantly tests people. It tests them with fear, it tests them with greed, it tests them with comparison. Someone else is getting rich faster. Someone else bought the trend earlier. Someone else looks smarter this year. The market whispers, do something, change something, chase something. Buffett's answer was often, no. That no made him rich. No to hype, no to panic, no to overpaying, no to businesses he did not understand, no to unnecessary action, no to the emotional pressure of the crowd. In a loud world, Buffett's edge was quiet.
People say Warren Buffett is a genius, and he is. But the deeper lesson of his life is not intelligence alone. It is temperament. The ability to stay rational when others lose control. The ability to wait when others demand action. The ability to look boring while doing something extraordinary. Buffett's life challenges one of the strongest beliefs in modern culture, that faster is better. Faster decisions, faster money, faster success, faster status. But Buffett's story says something different. The most powerful things in life often take time. Reputation, trust, knowledge, capital, businesses, relationships, wisdom, compounding. None of them reveal their full value immediately. They reward people who can wait without quitting. And that is why Buffett feels so unusual. He became rich in a way that almost sounds too simple. Buy good assets. Do not overpay. Think long term. Control emotion. Let time work. But behind those simple words is one of the hardest disciplines in the world. Because the real enemy is not the market. The real enemy is impatience, the need to act, the fear of missing out, the pain of looking wrong, the temptation to follow the crowd. Buffett mastered that enemy better than most. He did not just understand businesses, he understood himself. He knew what he could understand. He knew what he should avoid. He knew when to act. And maybe more importantly, he knew when not to. That is the real lesson. Warren Buffett did not win because he saw the future perfectly. He won because he built a system that did not require perfection. Value gave him discipline. Quality gave him endurance. Berkshire gave him structure. Compounding gave him time. Temperament held it all together. And over decades, that became one of the greatest wealth-building stories in history. A boy who counted coins became a man who counted decades. A young investor who searched for bargains became a builder of enduring businesses. A patient thinker in Omaha became one of the most respected investors in the world. Not because he moved faster, but because he waited better. This was Silent Empires. Subscribe for more stories about power, money, business, and the hidden strategies behind modern legends.